I think it's possible to have conversations about even sexual chemistry without including your history. You could have conversations around how your relationship can get better. You don't even need to make direct comparisons. How do we get better? I feel like sometimes you finish so quickly. If you'd stay in the neighborhood of, hanging out in these areas that I've shown you, that would be amazing. You don't have to say, oh, the other person, what? These are conversations we never had. He just knew. Me, I don't know, right? Should you share everything with your partner? Everything. Everything is everything. Should you? You're like, okay, ni tricky, ameketi hapa. He's just sitting next to me, so I can't answer openly. But I guess, because he's here, everything. I wonder about that. And how much of whatever you share is too much? And how much is very little? Now, there's a whole idea around secrecy and privacy. A lot of us get them mixed up. Okay, we conflate the two, where you're thinking, why are you keeping things from me? And you're thinking to yourself, but this is private. I cannot tell, that's private. And you're like, we are one. We are one. You can't keep anything from me. So what do you think? What are the obvious things that you must definitely share, unnegotiable, and what are those that you should hold back? That's a conversation. A warm welcome. My name is Eric. And the other one is Oduor. Can you believe it? Oduor actually means earlier in the morning, earliest. A Luo friend of mine told me that. Did you know that? Like just before the morning. The dawn, the early dawn? Like the third watch, I think the Bible calls it. That's what Oduor means. A warm welcome. Eric's Stories and Ask Eric is really a platform where you and I come together. We try and make sense of adult conversations as it pertains to issues of adult life. We speak about sex and money and relationships and secrets and privacy and so on and so forth. And the purpose for this conversation is not just for mere entertainment. It's so that we are better. Better is always good. The creed of this platform is better is good. When we know better, we do better. So make it, as always, as interactive as you can. I want to hear your mind on the comment section about how much is too much. If you shared something that came back and backfired on you, if your significant other waited around and used what you had shared as a weapon, and what you learned from that experience, Okay, so how much should you share? And how should you share? And how much shouldn't you share? That's a conversation. I've broken it to 2 capsules. I'll try and fit one capsule with the things to do in your sharing and the other one in my mind, things you shouldn't do in your sharing. Which one should we start with? I think we should start with drum rolls. Things not. No, let's start with things to do. Okay? The do's. The do's when you're sharing. The do's. What are the do's? What are the do's? What are the don'ts? The truth is important, as we've discussed in previous channels, but you want to share the truth with tact and reserve. Have you met people who let their entire intestines out without reading the room? Because people are triggered with so many things. So I think before we even get to the do's, we have to really look at things like, where are we in the relationship? How soon is this information? How long have I known this person? Are they comfortable? Is this something from their history that would be a trigger? Say, for instance, the last relationship they came out of, they were cheated on. And you're just about to share the way one time in Mombasa, you are open. You are like, woohoo, we are going down. And you're like, I'm by the beach, and I'm going to do everything very nice and sandy and beachy. And then you ended up doing it with 4 guys. And you're like, YOLO. How do you think that information is going to be received from somebody who was cheated on? And you guys are in month 3 of the relationship. It's going to make them salty. So I would say, number 1, tell the truth with tact and reserve. And under that, I would say, share about your current health. That's a thing to share. That's a thing you cannot say, no, I had a vasectomy and it's private. No, we've been trying for a baby. It's not private. It concerns me. Okay? Share about your health. your current health, your past health history, and things you're doing. For instance, if you are obese, you could say, I've worked really hard. The reason you see why I avoid a lot of carbs for now is because I used to be a mountain of a man. I had double sets of breasts, and I used to have triple chins. And now, you see, I am trying to move away from that. That's why you see me waking up early in the morning, drinking lots of water. That's an information that is nice sharing. It's important to keep your partner up to date about your health, about your sexual health, about history of something chronic in your family. For obvious reasons, especially the relationship is getting serious. You want to share that. You surely cannot be arguing that, why should I tell you about my blood type? Why? It's sensitive. You guys are trying to have a baby. It's an important information to share, okay? If you have an STI or you've treated something quite chronic, again, using TALKT. Share it. Share it. The other day I was in church and my pastor was saying how the wife went for a test and they mixed the blood samples and the doctors called home. This was when HIV was quite menacing. And they were told that the wife is HIV positive. So imagine if you just zipped up such an information. I think it's important to share, okay? Family tree. Behavior follows and so does chronic illnesses. So if you have some type of, say, sickle cell anemia, something chronic, whatever it is, if they love you and if you love them, you can use again TACT to share. Don't hold that back under the pretense that it's very private information. That is information that they need to have so that they make an informed decision. If you're epileptic, if there's something that happens to you, you have seizures, you have some very acute depression, so that if somebody shouts at you, you go and try and slit your wrist. You can say, I've been seeing a therapist for this problem. It began when I was in high school, and it has exacerbated, but I'm working on it. You want to be real honest and upfront about such things. So for me, in my books, that is a do. You want to share about your health history. What is another do? Talk extensively about debts. That's important, especially if you're getting close and you're about to get married. Talk about your debts. Talk about the mobile loans you've taken. If your name has been listed with the credit bureau, tell your partner. Do you remember the drug problem I had where I used to snort things? That time I took loans. So they listed me. I've paid the loans, but they listed me and they said I have to be on that list for 7 years. Again, using TACT. Okay? If you've borrowed money from family members, if you've borrowed money from friends, if you've borrowed money from colleagues, let them in on it. If you have a student loan, that is something you want to share. Because if I know that you're earning X amount of money and we've agreed on deliverables in the home, I'm going to be paying hard bills, you're paying soft bills, but every so often you call me and say, please come with onions and come with this. And I'll start wondering, what happened to your soft bill end of the bargain? You see? And the more you do that, the more you're going to build resentment from my part. And then I feel like, I'm getting the shorter hand of this stick. Discuss openly and even in terms of the problems, your ways in which you're looking at solving the problem. I owe the student loan X amount of money. I owe my elder brother X amount of money. I took something from my dad. 4 of my friends from the office gave me this, and I have this circle loan. Okay? For the simple reason, discussing debts may not be anybody's idea of a romantic, good time or getaway conversation, but you want to have all of these things sorted out so that you can enjoy bliss in the near future. If you don't talk about it, it's a mountain waiting to collapse on your faces. Number 3, in my mind, of the do's to share your past traumatic events. For the obvious reasons, revealing these will allow your partner to guide you. If something has shocked you, say you are robbed at gunpoint, and you've decided, I will die with this information. No. One time you're walking in CBD and there's commotion, and you scream like you're losing your head. If she doesn't know that, she'll turn and call you all manner of names. Why are you being such a wuss? You embarrassed me with your girl screams, and you're a grown man. So you could say, one time during the Westgate attack, I was there and I saw these guys pulling out the guns, and it really, really, really freaks me out. Every time I see people running, my mind races back to that terrorist attack, and I just lose it. So now, because she has this information, you know what she's going to be doing? When she sees a commotion, be like, hey, honey, let's pass on this other side. And she'll even prime her rowdy relatives when they're coming to visit. Guys, I know you dance like, what are those guys who go to these political rallies called? Goons. I know as a family we dance like goons. But Gabriel here, when he sees commotions, he screams like a girl. So we don't want that because he witnessed something quite menacing. So I know when we are here, let's try and not dance like goons. So she'll protect you. Okay? You see what I mean? All right? And then finally, I think as a do, share why your last relationship or marriage ended. Let's say you're on your 6th marriage. You can't just be mom. You are there with your 6 kids and you don't want to talk about it. And here I am trying to love on you. You're like, so what happened? I don't talk about those things. Why? Why don't you talk about it? You've been on 6 other relationships which have ended. I would want to know so that I do better than the other 6 guys. You don't think so? Tell me what happened. Was it lack of communication? Did somebody cheat? Was there infidelity? Was there financial jurisprudence? What was it? Okay? So I think those are within the confines, in my mind, and I'm happy to hear your view. Those are within the confines of the things that are healthy, that are must-have conversations with your significant other. And now we move on swiftly to the don'ts. What are the don'ts? Has somebody ever said something to you in a relationship and you're thinking, I don't, I don't know if I wanted to hear that. What are the don'ts? On top of my mind, don't share intimate details about your past. The way, your biggest gift is your throat. Huh? The things you've done in your past with your throat. Really now? Agnes, your throat. So what do we do now? Because now knowing you, I've known you for the past 4 years, I've never had that experience. What are you doing? Okay? Everyone has different triggers in a relationship, and it's important to gauge and see, is this going to be valuable information or is it just going to be a trigger for them? So keep your intimate details about your past to yourself. Or you are a gang robber. I saw recently a man of the cloth saying that they did something to a woman and he was drinking days. I used to drink like a fish. And boy, I hurt a lot of people. I'm not proud about that. That's better than, hey, I used to step on 4 crates like this. You don't know me. You don't know me. Am I the one telling you, is this my story or your story? Me. And then I would sleeping around. Let me count for you. These socialites, who has not passed my hands? Who has not passed with glee? You're saying that gleefully. So is that a constructive information? Again, a good word I like in the scriptures, it says, everything is permissible, but not all things are edifying. So I think a sweet spot between, is this edifying? Will it edify my relationship? Is it going to edify my partner? And is it edifying us right now? Those are good questions to ask yourself. It may be permissible that you could talk about something crazy you did, and it will make you look like a star or Rambo for 5 seconds. But what are the adverse effects after you share such information? A don't for me includes don't share your past sexual partners. Oh my goodness. You know those men who lie next to you and say, we are open and close to one another. You can just tell me, babe, how many have they been? And me, I'll tell you, you tell me. Then you're feeling so in love. You're like, Gabriel, you won't judge her. You won't judge Gabriel. You won't judge her. Gabriel promised you won't judge Gabriel. You're not going to judge her. Okay, so I started early. I started really early. So when I was 12, that is when now, 12, I'd been in the game for like 4 years. So you do the math. So I started when I was 8, yeah. But now in Campo is when I went berserk. Like in first year, in first year, I think, I was down bad. In first year, I think I just like massacred like 120 Jamas. Yeah, I can't remember their names, but I remember when I was counting with my girls, we reached 88. Then when I was sleeping, I remembered another 39. Then I was like, wow, I was embarrassed of counting, yeah. And you've not counted second year, third year, fourth year. Then I deferred, and now I really did it. And then now, and then now I met you after now Campo. What? What? Why are you doing that? It's very unnecessary. That's my past. I'm really keen on concentrating on this relationship right now. It's neither here nor there. Okay? So don't share extensively about your past sexual partners. And even details. Hey, Joshua was a choker. Sema choker. Funny enough, I used to enjoy. Imagine, and then my eyelid, you see the pupil, the black one, it would just disappear like that and my eyes would be white. Yeah, that was Joshua. I've not told you about Andrew. What are we doing now? Is that good information? Does that add to this relationship? So one thing you don't have to share is, how many people you've been around with. It's not important. You don't have to. You could just say, miss me that information. I don't remember. You don't even have to lie. I feel uncomfortable. I'm concentrating on this relationship. I don't want to share it. So don't share it. And I don't know why it's so important for people to go down memory lane. I get it. A lot of men say that a woman's past is very, very important, that they need to know. And it's also said that women care so much about a man's future. While that is true, again, tact has its place. Use tact. Okay? Use tact. I don't know how that would play out for you, but use tact. I was talking to a friend of mine who was telling me recently that they had this conversation in their office, and a bunch of young interns were saying that in a year, they could easily have anywhere between 85 to 120 body counts. And all of these millennials were looking at them with judgmental eyes. Again, much as it's true, this is not a sanctimonious episode. I'm just saying, much as it's true, I think it suffices to remember the back of your mind. Everything is permissible, but not all things are edifying. It's not important that you share everything, even if it's true. It's true that you've been around with 930 people and you've learned so many things. That's not an interview-worthy comment. It's not important. Not that you're ashamed, you're even possibly proud, but if you care about this relationship and you're trying to foster a meaningful relationship, ask yourself, is this going to add to me or subtract from me? And then keep your mouth shut. Don't share what you liked best about your ex in comparison to this other person. I used to really, oh my goodness. Where do I even start? About Alice and her soft chapos? Yani the chapos were just the chapos are just, you hold the chapo is just sambaratikaing. Hey, she used to make good chapos. I miss her chapos. Hey, her chapos. Yeah, she was Costarian. She made good chapos. Hey, her chapos. But you now know this one does not even like to cook. What are you doing now? You don't want to complicate your current relationship and chemistry through comparison. Again, wisdom. Why is that important? Why is that necessary? There are so many good things going on with this person that you can highlight. Why do you have to bring Madam Chapo, who you actually didn't work out with, for this other person who doesn't do chapos? So you then go marry Madam Chapo. I think it's possible to have conversations about even sexual chemistry without including your history. You could have conversations around how your relationship can get better. You don't even need to make direct comparisons. How do we get better? I feel like sometimes you finish so quickly. If you'd stay in the neighborhood of, hanging out in these areas that I've shown you, that would be amazing. You don't have to say, oh, the other person, what? These are conversations we never had. He just knew. Me, I don't know, right? What are the other do's and don'ts in terms of privacy and secrecy and what should be shared with your partner? Tell me in the comments.